Hey guys, what's up? I hope that you're all doing fine and I hope that your preparations for the upcoming RBI Grade B exam are going really great. So, welcome to the YouTube channel of Lit Mode where we guys work really hard so that you can leverage your time for the upcoming RBI Grade B exam. And guys, today we're going to discuss a very crucial topic for your RBI, NABARD and SEBI exams, and that is the RBI's bi-monthly monetary policy update, which was released very recently on the 9th of October 2020. Okay, guys, and this is a very important part of the ESI or the economics syllabus, but at the same time the questions are not just asked in the phase 2 but also in the phase 1 of RBI, SEBI and NABARD exams, because it is also a very crucial part of the GA or the general awareness syllabus. So it's a very unique thing about this topic that it's not just the part of the ESI syllabus but also the GA syllabus, and it's a very small topic at the same time, so it can be covered in like a very small time, probably 30 minutes you can finish it off from the basics. But at the same time it is a lot of brownie points in the phase 1 as well as the phase 2. So I want you guys to grab these brownie points today itself, and I want you to keep these things in your mind so that you can definitely gain all of these marks in the final RBI exam, which will be coming very soon, and not just the RBI exam but the SEBI and NABARD exams as well. So, guys, uh, before we begin, I would like to request you to like and share this video, because we guys are working really hard every day so that you can leverage your time, so that we can provide you such optimized materials for your RBI Grade B exam that you can optimize your number of attempts that you take, reduce them to the minimum, and try to crack this exam this year itself. Okay, guys, so we want you to do so, and we are making our study material in that sense, in that direction only. So we work really hard every day. But if you like the way that we are approaching this, and if you like the videos that we're making every day for you, then please like and share this video, and we'll get motivated and we'll keep working like this every day for you guys. Okay, and also I would like to request you guys to subscribe to our channel if you like to watch our videos regularly, and if you want to get notified whenever we make videos that will help you leverage your time. Okay, guys, so let us begin on that note. So the contents for this video are basically, we're going to begin this video with the important topics that have been asked in the previous year's questions, as the RBI Grade B has asked them in the phase 1 and the phase 2 as well. Okay, so we'll try to cover all of those topics. I'll give you a list of those questions, and let's see how much you can attempt in that. Okay, that's how we'll begin. Then I'll try to tell you some things about the basics about the Monetary Policy Committee, even though that's actually a part of the uh, monetary policy chapter, which is a very big topic. But I'll try to give you the basics at least for what is the Monetary Policy Committee and how does the MPC function. We'll talk about the members of the MPC, because recently the members of the MPC have been changed. So there's a lot of new names that have come into it, and there's again questions that can be asked from that. Moving ahead, we'll discuss the monetary policy rates, or the policy rates in general that we call them, because that is the most crucial thing which is always announced in the MPC. Okay, moving ahead, we'll try to cover some more important announcements that have been made, and then we'll finally try to answer all the previous year's questions that have been asked. And I guarantee you that the way we are approaching it right now, you will definitely be able to answer all of these questions. I guarantee you that. So you just need to finish this video off and study everything well, and I'm sure that you will be able to answer all these questions. Okay, guys. And before we begin, there's also a bonus in this video, and that bonus is that I'm going to ask you three questions in during this video. They are all scattered in between, and let's see who can actually answer all of those three questions correctly. And they are very important questions for your current affairs, so I hope that you stay attentive and you try to find out whenever I ask those questions. Okay, guys. And apart from that, I'll also for those people who are a lot into social media, I've also tried to inculcate a couple of memes, so let's see if you like those. And if you do like those, then please let me know in the comments. Okay, so let's move ahead, guys. The first slide over here is the previous year's questions for the phase 2 exam. In fact, not just the phase 2 but the phase 1 is also being included over here itself. So the phase 2 and the phase 1, there's all the questions that have been asked in 2019, 18 is the phase 1, and 17 phase 2. So 17 and 19, the questions were asked in the phase 2 exam of RBI grade B, and for 2018 they were not asked in the phase 2, but there you can see that a lot of questions were asked in the phase 1 itself. In fact, there were more than this. So that's the very basics that were asked from the basic policy rates, repo rates, MSF, and the SLR and everything. But there's a lot of questions that have been asked, and I would like you guys to just pause this video over here and just take a look at these 6-7 questions. Try to answer them according to what is going on right now. So what the rates are right now, try to answer them, and do not take more than 30 seconds per question. Let's see if you can answer them. So pause the video and answer. Okay guys, I hope that you've gone through all of these questions, and just to give you a sense of where you stand right now in terms of your preparations, if you have been able to answer more than 5 questions, that is 6 or 7 questions correctly, if you've answered them, then your preparations are going perfectly fine, and you just keep doing whatever you have done if you are at that level, and I'm sure that you will be able to crack the exam. And for those who have not been able to answer 6 or 7 questions, that is, they've been able to answer less than 6 questions, probably 4 or 5. If you are at 4 or 5, then your preparation is fine, but there's a fine tuning that still needs to be done. You still lack behind somewhere. I mean, you know the basics, but you are not being able to either recall them properly, or you are not following the current affairs properly, or maybe you just need to brush up what you've read. So you are in a very very crucial spot right now. I mean, no one likes to uh, get get left away in the exam by merely 1 or 2 marks, and I know that is the thing that hurts the most. So you're in that band right now, and you need to work really hard to get out of that. And for all of those people who have been able to answer less than 4 questions correctly, so if you've answered 1, 2, or 3 questions correctly, or if you were not able to answer any question correctly, then you need to put in a lot of time and effort into your studies, and buck up today itself. Start working hard, because you need to work a lot. Okay guys, so let's move ahead then. We'll try to discuss everything from the MPC updates for the October 2020, the 9th October notification. And I hope that towards the end of this lecture, you'll be able to answer all these questions. Even those who weren't able to answer not even one, I'm sure that you'll be able to answer all of them by the end of it. Okay guys, so let's move ahead then. The first thing that we are going to discuss over here is the MPC, or the Monetary Policy Committee. So, what is the MPC? First of all, the MPC is basically a statutory body. Okay, so it's a body that has been made under a statute or a law, and that law or the statute has been put in the RBI Act. Okay, so there's something known as the RBI Act, and if you guys can recall, then this act was made in the year 1934. Exactly, guys. So RBI Act of 1934. Under this act, the MPC has been made. Cool. So how many members are there in the MPC? The MPC consists of 6 members. Out of this, 3 members are from the RBI, or the Reserve Bank of India, and 3 members are from the Government of India, or the GOI. I hope that you guys saw the video lecture that we uploaded for the monetary policy, that the part 1 that we uploaded a few days back. And if you have, then you guys at least know that what I'm talking about over here. But if you still haven't seen the video, I will give it a basic coverage over here as well. And if you have seen it, then of course you'll be able to revise. So we'll go ahead with this. So 3 members are from the Reserve Bank of India, and 3 are from the Government of India. The Reserve Bank of India members are ex officio. Okay, so they are a part of the MPC just because they hold the office that they are in right now. For example, the Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, guys. So they are ex officio members. Moving ahead, and by the way, the GOI members, they hold office for a term of 4 years. वैसे तो I will discuss this later as well, but still I'll let you know that they hold office for a term of 4 years, and beyond that they cannot be reappointed. So no reappointments after 4 years. And moving ahead, bi-monthly meetings. So what happens is that this Monetary Policy Committee, or the MPC, has to meet every 2 months. So its meetings are held bi-monthly or every 2 months, which means 6 meetings in a year. But the interesting part over here is that if the quorum is not basically, quorum is something that the number of members out of 6 members, if that number of members are not present in a meeting, then the meeting cannot be held. And the quorum for MPC is 4. So if 4 members are not present, then if less than 4 members are present, then the meeting cannot be held. At least 4 or 5 or 6 members need to be present for the meeting to be held in a legal way. Okay, guys. And not just the quorum. Even if the quorum is there, but there's some other there's some other issues that have somehow hampered the meeting from being held. In that case, at least 4 meetings need to be held bare minimum in a year. No matter what contingency is there, no matter what has happened, 4 meetings per year is bare minimum. But ideally, they hold every a meeting every 2 months. So generally, in a normal year, it goes up to 6 meetings in a year. Okay, guys. Moving ahead, what does this MPC do? It actually formulates the monetary policy of the country or the nation. Okay, so the main aim of this MPC is to formulate the monetary policy. And if you guys do not know what a monetary policy means, then you need to do the monetary policy from basics. And I've done that in my previous video, which was uploaded a couple of days back, I guess. So you can go back and watch that video if you do not know what a monetary policy is. And that is again a very, very crucial thing. So you need to go through it. Okay, guys. And another important thing over here is that the even though the monetary policy committee is actually making the monetary policy of the nation, but the key term over here is the inflation. So the when it is making the monetary policy, the most important thing that it's trying to target is the inflation. And what is the target of the MPC for inflation? The target is to keep inflation between 2 to 6%, or 4 plus minus 2%. That is what we call it. This is the target band for inflation, and the monetary policy committee always tries to keep inflation within this target limit. Okay, guys. So let's move ahead then. Moving ahead. Okay. So here's the first meme for you guys. एक होता है मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी और एक होता है फिस्कल पॉलिसी. एंड the the meme that you can see below, that दोनों अलग अलग होते हैं क्या? That is exactly what I've heard from so many students. So when I say this, that monetary policy and fiscal policy are two separate policies that make up the macroeconomic, the way that the government tries to control the macroeconomy of the nation, then most people get confused between the fiscal and the monetary policy of the nation. Okay, guys. So I would like to point out over here that the monetary and the fiscal policy are two different things, and you need to understand that. And a lot of students are also in that category who actually know that dono alag alag hote hain, but they can't recall the difference between what a monetary policy is and what a fiscal policy is, and what are the key factors that differentiate between them. Okay, guys. So I would try. I mean, I can't tell you all of those differences right now because of the constraints that I have in the video. But to be very, very short, the MP, or the monetary policy, is made by the Reserve Bank of India. It tries to control inflation, and then it has more supply side effects, and it has it has more. I'm sorry, it has more demand side effects, demand side, and then it has faster effects. At the same time, it takes lesser time to show effects. And for the fiscal policy, it's made by the government of India, and it directly affects the supply side of things. It's made only once a year. This is made 6 times in a year. And then the instrument to make the fiscal policy is the budget. There's a lot of things, but these are the key differentiation factors. And then again, it is slower as compared to the uh, the monetary policy. So there's all of these things, but you just need to understand them better, and for that you need to go through the basics. So I've talked about all of these. I've made the fiscal policy and the monetary policy videos in our course, which is of course available on the LitMode website, and you can go to the website and you can check out the course if you want to. And I mean, it's in a very pocket friendly rate right now, so you can go through the LitMode website and you can find it over there. But I mean, even if you don't want to do it in that sense, I would at least recommend you to go through the basics of the monetary policy and the fiscal policy so that you do not fall in this category where you're like दोनों अलग अलग होते हैं क्या? Okay, so let's move ahead then, guys. All right, so this is my first question that I'm going to ask in this video today, and this is a current affairs based question from August 2020. So the question is that which city's municipal corporation became the first in India to launch forest land right certificates for urban people? So there's a municipal corporation in India, in a state, that has launched forest land right certificates for urban people, and this is the first time that it has happened in any city in India. And it is very important for you because land right certificates are again a direct part of the F&M or the finance syllabus for RBI grade B. So it becomes important for the phase 2, but at the same time it is also important because forest land right certificates can directly be asked as the in the GA syllabus for phase 1 as well. Okay, guys, so it's a very crucial question, plus it has happened very recently in August 2020, so you need to know the answer of it. If you know, then put it as the answer 1 in the comment section below. Okay, guys, so let's move ahead then. Moving ahead, the members of the MPC. So as I told you, MPC is made up of 6 people or 6 members, and the first 3 members are from the Reserve Bank of India, or the RBI as we call it. Okay, guys, and the next 3 members are members who are appointed by the government of India, or the GOI, as you can see over here. Okay, and the interesting part over here is that GOI members have a 4-year term, as I told you, and they were appointed in 2016 for the first time. Okay, so their term ended in September 2020, that is very recently, and in September 2020 the term ended. So with the new MPCs meeting, new members had to be appointed. So in October 2020, new members have been appointed, and all of these 3 names, they are the newest members who have been appointed by the government of India in the Monetary Policy Committee. The first one of them is Ashima Goyal, the second is Jayant Har Verma, and the third is Shashank Bhide. Okay, you need to remember these names, you need to know because they can actually be asked in the RBI exam. And also, the when it comes to the members who have been appointed by the Reserve Bank of India, the most important is the chairman, who is the governor of Reserve Bank of India. So the governor is actually the ex officio chairman of the MPC. So currently the governor is Shaktikanta Das, and the second member is always the a deputy governor who is in charge of the monetary policy. So there are more than one deputy governors, but one of them is in charge of the monetary policy, and currently that member is MD Patra, or Michael Debabrata Patra. So he is the second member from the Reserve Bank of India. And the third one, again, he was also made a member very recently. Earlier there was someone else who was in his place, but now Mridul K. Sagar has been made the third member of the MPC who comes from the Reserve Bank of India, and he has been nominated by the Central Board. So the third member is nominated by the Central Board of the RBI, and again all these 3 members are ex officio members. Okay, so these 3 members come from the Reserve Bank of India, and the 3 members listed below, they come from the government of India, or nominated by the government of India. Now the interesting part that you can see over here is that Shaktikanta Das is the chairman, or the governor of RBI is the chairman of this committee. Now this chairman has one additional power that you should know about, and that is that when there is a tie, because see, all the decisions in the MPC or the Monetary Policy Committee are taken by a vote, and this vote, of course, wherever the majority lies, there that decision will be taken. But because there are 6 members, so if 3 members vote towards one side and 3 towards the other side, there will be a tie. And in case of ties, the governor, who is the chairman of the MPC, gets the final vote, or the tiebreaker vote. So that vote is with the final vote lies with the chairman or the governor of RBI in case of a tie. Okay, guys. And apart from that, I also wanted to tell you the fact that I told you the GOI members have 4-year term, and I also told you before, but I would like to say this point again, reinstate this, that these members cannot be reappointed for a second term. So all of these three members who come from the government of India, they are new members, they have been appointed newly. None of the previous three members has been reappointed because they cannot be reappointed. Okay, guys. So let's move ahead then. Moving ahead, we reach the MPC October policy rates. So recently, the MPC was updated in October. The policy rates have still been kept the same as they were before in the August MPC, but still, this is the latest rates, so you should know them because they can be asked. So the first one of them is the repo rate. It stands at 4% right now. The second is the reverse repo rate. It stands at 3.35%. The third is MSF, or the marginal standing facility. It stands at 4.25%. The bank rate stands at 4.25% again. They are generally equal in India. So the Reserve Bank of India tries to keep the MSF and the bank rate equal. Okay, so now for those of you who do not know what the repo rate is, the repo rate is basically the rate at which the Reserve Bank of India lends money to the banks for short term, and these short term periods are generally 7, 14, or 28 days. Okay, guys, moving ahead, the reverse repo rate is just the opposite or the reverse of the repo rate, where the banks lend money, their excess money, to the Reserve Bank of India, and that is why this rate is generally lesser, because now the Reserve Bank of India is paying interest to the banks for the extra money that they park with the RBI. Okay, so this is banks giving money to RBI, and the repo rate is just the opposite of it, that is the RBI giving money to banks. Okay, guys, and these policy rates are the interest on this money. Now the MSF and the bank rate, they are so when the repo rate borrowings are done, in that case the bank has to give its securities as a deposit to the Reserve Bank of India, so that whenever the bank returns its money, the money that it has borrowed, that time the Reserve Bank of India will return those securities to the bank. So these securities are like a safety mechanism in this case. In MSF, or marginal standing facility, such a safety mechanism uh, does not exist. Okay, and that is why this rate is higher, because there is more risk in this. That is why this rate is kept higher than 4%. And how high is it? It is higher by 25 basis points, or zero point 0.2. So basis points is written as BPS in general. So it is higher by 25 BPS, or 0.25%. Okay, guys. And if you want to understand in detail all of these, MSF, bank rate, reverse repo rate, every one of these, again you can go back to the monetary policy video and you'll find all of them discussed in detail over there. Okay, guys. So moving ahead, even the CRR and the SLR are also discussed over there. So moving ahead, the CRR stands for the cash reserve ratio, and it is currently at 3%. And the SLR stands for the statutory liquidity ratio, and it stands at 18%. Okay, guys. Again, you need to remember these as well. And interestingly, the CRR was changed very recently from 4 to 3%. Earlier, it used to be at around 4%, but with the COVID scenario coming into place, the government needed more money to go into the hands of the people. That is why this 4% was reduced to 3%. Okay, so let's move ahead then. We have covered the entire policy rates now. And now, before we move ahead, I would also like to emphasize on the fact that the MPC is a bi monthly meeting, right? Bi-monthly means that if these rates were changed in October, then the next change that comes into this is going to be in December, the beginning of December 2020. Okay, and I'm sure that the RBI, I'm very sure that the RBI Grade B exam, the pre itself, will be held after the first week of December in any case. So the first week of December, the MPC will come out with its new policy rates, with its new announcements, and you need to update these rates, these policy rates. You need to update them with the December update. Okay, so whatever the Reserve Bank updates in December, you need to update that MPC rates yourself in your notes. I will also try to cover it once again in the current affairs section of December, but still I would recommend that you guys do it yourself as well. So keep your notes updated. Okay, so let's move ahead, guys. Moving ahead, there's another meme for all of those meme lovers out there and all of those social media lovers out there. So this one is policy rates in a few words. So if you were still not able to understand what policy rates, what CRR, SLR, repo rate, reverse repo rate, bank rate, what they actually mean, what they are there for, then I will give you a very short meme that will help you remember what it stands for or what is the purpose for it in general. So company went so company goes to the Reserve Bank of India and it says that मुझे बैंक खोलना है. And what does the Reserve Bank of India say in return? बलिदान देना होगा. So just like the Guruji of Netflix's series, the Sacred Game series, just like Guruji, the RBI is also like बलिदान देना होगा, and this बलिदान is nothing but the CRR, SLR, and the bank rate, the repo rate, the reverse repo rate, the MSF. All of those are the बलिदान that the RBI asks for कि अगर आपको बैंक खोलना है तो बलिदान देना होगा. So the RBI takes the balidans as CRR or the cash reserve ratio, which the bank has always, it always has to park this with the Reserve Bank of India. Along with that, they also have to keep their SLR or the statutory liquidity ratio in terms of their liquid assets. And then they have to, if they want to borrow money from the Reserve Bank of India, they have to pay the repo rate. And if they want to park their excess funds with the Reserve Bank of India, they have to, then they get the reverse repo rate, but they have to pay more in the repo rate as compared to what they're getting in the reverse repo rate. So basically RBI भी बलिदान लेता है. ठीक है guys, so let's move ahead then. Moving ahead, now we'll talk about a few more important announcements that were made in the MPC's meeting, and the first out of them is the inflation. So as we talked about, that inflation is the most important thing that the MPC always tries to target, and the MPC actually considers the CPIC or the uh, Consumer Price Index combined. Combined means both rural and urban. It is combined. So the CPIC is considered for inflation in India, and again you need to know this fact that which of the indices are used for calculation of inflation by the Reserve Bank of India. It is the CPI combined. Okay, guys. So this was released for the Q2 or the second quarter, which is the first quarter is from April to May and June, and the second quarter begins from July to September. Okay, so from July to September, that is the Q2 for the FY 2021, July to September. This estimate was 6.8%. Okay, so the inflation lied at around 6.8%. And what did we discuss very recently? That the target for inflation, the inflation targeting band for the Reserve Bank of India is 2 to 6%, or it is, in a simpler sense, you can also say 4 plus minus 2%. So you can see that over here for the first quarter, for the Q2, the first time in this year, the inflation has been beyond this range. And interestingly, what happens is that if this inflation stays beyond the 2 to 6% range for 3 consecutive quarters, then the Reserve Bank of India has to give a written explanation to the government of India that why this happened. Okay, so 3 quarters, that is 9 months. If it stays beyond this 6%, it stays like this or something beyond this, then the Reserve Bank of India is going to be in trouble. They'll have to give a written explanation, and then the government of India will decide what to do ahead of that and how to uh, control the inflation. Okay, and that is also not just a written explanation, but it is also considered as a failure on the part of the Monetary Policy Committee and the Reserve Bank of India in terms of controlling inflation. Okay, guys. So the Q2, the inflation has been 6.8%, and for the entire H1 of FY21, that is H1 is the first half. So that is from April to September. Okay, for that it has the Reserve Bank of India has given a range that the inflation has stayed between 4.5 to 5.4% range. Okay, guys. So for the entire H1 it was under control, because basically it was under control in the Q1, but in the Q2 the Reserve Bank of India has seriously struggled a lot with this inflation. And that can also be seen in the fact that finally our currency has been revalued. The valuation of the currency has been increased. Currently our rupee is stands at around 73 rupees per dollar, as compared to what it was a couple of months back. It was around 75. And this is when this happens, that this is reduced to 73, our exports become more costlier, and basically they become less competitive. And this is the last resort the Reserve Bank of India had to go back to, because they were trying a lot of things and the inflation was still not getting under control. So when the final inflation for the Q2 increased beyond 6%, and they were really failing to control it within the required band, that is when they had to go to the last resort and actually revalue the currency, or increase the value of the currency to around 73 rupees per dollar. So they had to increase the value by around 2 rupees per dollar, and it has of course hampered our exports. But finally inflation is under control, and at least people won't go hungry. They won't actually be able to, they will actually be able to buy their food and basic necessities. So that is of course the first target of the government. Moving ahead after that is of course increasing the exports, and then the country earning more, the GDP increasing. But the primary thing was inflation for the MPC. That is why our currency's value has now increased. Okay guys, moving ahead, the MPC has also given the GDP projections, and the GDP projection for this financial year, or the FY21, is minus 9.5%. So we will actually see a lower GDP as compared to the FY20. पिछले साल से, पिछले financial year से this financial year will have a lesser GDP. And how less will it be? It will be less by 9.5%. And but the MPC has also said that next year, in the first quarter or the Q1, that is April to June quarter, this GDP growth is going to be very, very high in that one. Why? Because we are already going to begin on a low base of 2021, because it was 10% higher, almost 10% higher than this in 2020. So again, in FY22, the economy is going to pick up, and the GDP growth is going to be around 20.6% for the Q1. Okay, so for the first fact, the FY21 projection, that is 9.5%. This is something you definitely need to remember, because this is for the entire year. And if you can also remember this, then it's of course a bonus. You'll be on the safer side for the exam. But the first one, the 9.5% projection for this year given by the Reserve Bank of India, is a must to remember. Okay, guys. So let's move ahead then. Okay, so we've reached our second bonus question. And again, if you guys know the answer, please put it in the comment section below. And let's see how many of you can get this right. So the question over here states that the CRR was reduced by the Reserve Bank of India this year. I told you that the CRR was earlier standing at 4% since quite a long time. But then, because of the COVID-19 scenario, the Reserve Bank of India reduced the CRR to 3%, and it stands at 3% right now. So for the question says that for how long has this reduction been implemented? So the Reserve Bank of India, even though it has reduced the CRR to 3%, but at the same time when it was making this announcement, it also stated that this 3% is not forever. It is only for a fixed period of time, and once that period finishes off, this will revert back to 4%. Okay. So the question is that for how long has this been reduced to 3%? The CRR been reduced to 3%. So the options for you over here are, is it 6 months or 9 months or 12 months or 18 months or 24 months? Please put this answer as the A2 or the answer to in the comment section below, and let's see how many of you can get this one right. I hope that you guys have gone through this current affair, because it is again very important for all banking and regulatory body exams. And I'll also give you one more bonus point over here, so that you know another extra thing that might be asked in the exam. And that bonus point is that this reduction was done around 28th of March this year. So around 28th of March 2020, I mean, not just around, but exactly, that's the exact date. 28th of March 2020 is when this CRR reduction from 4 to 3% was implemented. So for how long has it been put into force? Is it 6 months or 9 months or 12 months or 18 or 24 months? That's the answer that I'm looking for. And interestingly, the first option now gets eliminated itself as soon as I told you this, because 28th March, say, if you calculate 6 months, it goes to around 28th of September. And in October, while I'm making this video, I'm still telling you that the CRR stands at 3%, which means that the first option is wrong. So now out of these four remaining options, let's see if you can find the right answer. Okay guys, so put this in the comment section below as the A2. And there's one more question that will be asked during this video. So just stay attentive and just go through this video in a active state. Okay guys, so let's move ahead then. Finally, in this short time of around 30 minutes, I've covered all the questions that were asked in the previous year's papers, and now you can answer them yourself. I mean, if you were attentive and if you've made notes out of what I said, you can answer all of these questions yourself. The first question is that which was asked in the phase 2 2019 exam, and it was, I guess, a 2 marker question in the ESI syllabus, which is a big deal for the phase 2 people. So the question was that the rate at which the banks borrow money overnight from the Reserve Bank of India. The answer for this is MSF, and I've also discussed this one in. So I told you that MSF stands for the Marginal Standing Facility, and I've also discussed this one in detail in uh, the monetary policy video that I've made. But if you guys have been attentive whenever I've taught MSF, you then know that MSF is the overnight lending that is given for only 24 hours at max by the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, guys, moving ahead, the second question. Again, ye to abhi we discussed this. That who is the head of the MPC or the Monetary Policy Committee? This was asked in the phase 2 2017. Such a easy question. The answer to this is Shaktikanta Das, or the governor of RBI, whoever it is at that point of time. Okay, guys. Such a simple question, 2 marks, man. Come on. Now you should feel much more confident now doing such going through such simple videos, and you can answer most of the questions that have been asked from this topic in the RBI exam. So moving ahead, the third question over here is that what is the inflation target band for the MPC? I told you at least 2-3 times in this video that it is 4% plus minus 2%, which means 2 to 6%. It was again asked in the phase 2 2017 RBI. And moving to the fourth question, the fourth question for the phase 2 is what are the reappointment rules for the MPC or the Monetary Policy Committee? Again, I told you that they are appointed for 4 years, and they are not eligible for reappointment. That is exactly what they were looking for in this question, and this was again asked for 2 marks. So 6 marks in 2017's RBI Grade B Phase 2 exam, and 6 marks out of what we've done right now in merely 30 minutes. 30 minutes, we were having fun. We were talking about memes as well. We were also talking about other current affairs. But barely 15 to 20 minutes that we gave to this topic, we've covered 6 marks, what was asked in the phase 2 exam of 2017, and again 2 marks that was asked in 2019. So if you guys just keep going through what we are doing over here, you are going to benefit a lot in the RBI exam, guys. Moving ahead, now we'll try to discuss the phase 1 questions that were asked in the RBI Grade B. So not just phase 2, but it is also asked in the GA section of phase 1. That is what I said when I began this video, and these are the proof to that fact. So the first question, 2018. So because in 2018 you can see that there was no question asked in the phase 2. They were in 2019 and 17. There's no question in 2018. So the RBI people, they're very clever. They asked in the phase 1 of 2018, they asked all of these questions. So if this it's been asked in the phase 1, it can also be asked in the phase 2, but दोनों में से एक में तो at least the phase 1 or the phase 2, there will definitely be questions. And interesting part is there wasn't just one question, there were 4 questions almost. So 4 questions means 4 marks in the phase 1 exam itself, and we've just covered it in this 30-minute video. That is crazy. It's just crazy. That's why we always put in all of our research and bring the right topic for you guys. So the first question over here in 2018 was, what is the current repo rate? It's 4% right now as of the October 2020 update. Such a simple question, guys. Such a straightforward question from the monetary policy. Second question, under MSF, banks take loan from. So बलिदान किसको देना होता है? आरबीआई को, राइट? आरबीआई को ही तो बलिदान देते हो, वही तो मांगता है बलिदान. So MSF is the loan that banks take from the Reserve Bank of India. Simple as that. Always remember the meme that I showed you today. Moving ahead, what is the current SLR or the statutory liquidity ratio? Such a simple and direct question. Once again, the answer was 18%. And then what is the, okay, I'm sorry, I guess this question got repeated twice. The second question over here was, what is the full form of SLR? And there was also one question which asked, what is the full form of LTV? So SLR is the statutory liquidity ratio and LTV stands for loan to value ratio, and these questions were also asked in the RBI grade B phase 1 2018. So not just these 4 questions, but there were like 5 to 6 marks of questions coming directly out of the MPC or the Monetary Policy Committee's report. If you've read that report, you know everything. So that is why I've tried to give you a video for monetary policy as well, and I've also tried to cover the PSL norms that I've done in one of the videos which has been uploaded very recently. So monetary policy, PSL, and then I've also done the MPC's very recent report with you guys in today's video. So now guys, I'm trying to give you a holistic coverage over here, and I want that phase 1. In the phase 1, if they ask 5 to 6 marks of questions, worth of questions, that's a lot. I mean, 6 marks can get you from way below the cutoff to crossing the cutoff and being at a very easy spot, and that too from such a small syllabus. It's a great deal. And then moving ahead, not just in the phase 1, you've seen that it is also asked in the phase 2. So many questions, 6 marks in just 1 year. That's a crazy amount of marks. So that is where it stands. There'll be around 5 to 6 marks easily that you can score in the phase 1 and phase 2. So I hope that you liked this video and you at least understood whatever I was trying to give you over here. So I just hope, guys, that you are getting the exact type of return which I'm trying to give you from this. Okay. So now comes finally the third question that I've asked in this video, and this third question, again, it's a very recent question from September 2020 current affairs, and the question says that recently a 5-year national program for civil services capacity building was launched by the government of India. Okay, so it's a scheme which is also being dubbed as the National Program for Civil Services Capacity Building, and this is a program for 5 years which was launched by the government of India. So the question is that, what is the name of this scheme? You have to name this scheme. Name this scheme. This is the question number 3. And if you know the answer, then guys, put your comment as A3 or the answer 3, and then write the answer and put it in the comment section below. Let's see how many of you can answer all of these 3 questions, and I'll wait for your answers down below, and I'll try to like all of your comments, the people who put the right answers over there. So let's see how many of you can answer this. Okay, guys. So thank you for watching. That was all for today's lecture. That was all for today's video. And if you guys have any problem or any doubts in whatever we discussed today, I would recommend that you either go through the video again and try to sort them out for yourself, because that is the best way to learn. But if you still are not being able to understand or not being able to get the right the right answers for your questions, then you can write to us anytime at hi@litmode.in. That's our email ID, hi@litmode.in. Okay, guys. So you can send us an email and we'll try to answer your queries as soon as possible. And you can also put your queries down in the comment section below. We also go through them. But if you're still not getting your answers, then that is the perfect place which we are always on top of our emails, and we always answer queries of students. Okay, guys. So you can write to us anytime at this email ID. And if you like the way that we are approaching the course, we try to find out the exact topics that are asked, and we try to approach them in such a manner that this is exactly how the examiner is trying to think when he or she is making the exam or the question paper. If you like to study in that sense, so that you can leverage your time, and at the same time you can optimize the number of attempts that you take to crack this exam and hopefully crack this exam this year itself, then you can also go to our website and find our course, which is live right now for the RBI Grade B. It's a very, very good course because I know I've gone through it very great. Like the people who are making this course, they are very, very, they know how the RBI exam is held, and they're very much uh, optimized in their way of teaching, and at the same time in their the way that they make this course. Plus this is also a very, very pocket friendly course, which I know what's going on in the market. We've seen how other institutes try to extort a lot of money out of students. So this has been kept at a very pocket friendly cost, so you can go through our website and you can see those courses if you want to go through them, if you want some help with your studies for the RBI exam. And if you still if you just want to study yourself and do your self studies, then we'll keep coming up with videos like this that we came up with today, and we'll always be there working day and night, working hard as we can to help you guys to crack your exam as soon as possible. So that's a promise that comes from our side, and we'll keep working as hard as we can. But I hope that you guys will keep motivating us with your likes and your shares and your subscriptions. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and goodbye. Take care.